Hey, John, we live in this society right now where masculinity is under attack. Men are told that their very being as men is toxic. I think James Cameron, director of Titanic, said that he views testosterone as an actual toxin. This is incredibly destructive to our young men who don't know what to do if they aren't properly ordering their desire to protect and to provide and to procreate. Men are feminized, and as a result, our society is on the verge of crumbling. And we have, as a response to this attack on masculinity, we have what I call the mascu bros, people like Andrew Tate who come along saying, listen, men should be men. And it sounds good on the surface. A lot of young men find the message of Andrew Tate or others like him to be very seductive. The way that I've always categorized Andrew Tate is his diagnosis of the problem is correct. Men are under attack. They're told not to be men, but his prescription for the problem is poison. So very, very dangerous for young men to fall prey to someone's narrative, a narrative from someone like Andrew Tate. But I want to ask you, I mean, how do you define masculinity? I feel like a lot of young men don't even know the answer to that question these days.
I define masculinity diametrically different than that of James Cameron, who comment on testosterone just belies that he is a little beta boy. Yeah, he can crush it and making some movie magic and stuff, but yeah, this is not a strong, virtued man. Also, the pendulum swing, as you already alluded to with Andrew Tate, also shows something that I don't like at all. Andrew Tate, I took him to task on a couple things on Twitter and immediately blocked me. So apparently they did strike a chord, obviously, but I want to resist both pendulum swings. In our day and age, beside from these different pendulum swings of talking about what masculinity is, it's either eradicating everything strong and bold and valuable about masculinity, about manhood. Either that's washed away to make us so weak and effete and defanged, declawed, so that we're no harm to the potential ruling betters of globalists and state elites. Recognize if you can neuter the men, you can rule the roost. And so I want to avoid being declawed and defanged, but also I recognize that we're given strength as men, as Andrew Tate would readily realize, hey, men should be strong and have some type of accountability and self-autonomy, and you should make yourself strong and unapologetically and speak for truth as you see it without apology, and all that stuff is gold. I love a lot of stuff that Tate has said. And I have not really delved into all the stuff Tate's done. I've really just seen pop shots, but over a long enough period of time that I can absolutely speak against it. And the problem with someone like Tate is he's saying enough that's really good that he could be a light to a lot of young men out there that are growing and developing, and they don't realize that this very attractive thing is laced with an insidious poison that's going to be the death of them. It's as if I'm serving you up this beautiful dinner. It's like filet mignon. You got some mashed potatoes done right with the like garlic stuff, and you got the asparagus where it's just the right amount of crisp. Liz, are you tracking with me right now?
I'm so hungry.
Oh, it's so good. But what you don't know is there's a little bit of arsenic laced in this meal. And so if like, oh, but it tastes good, it's good for you, but there's a deadly arsenic that's going to destroy you. That's Andrew Tate. He's saying some good stuff and he's doing some good stuff, but there is a deadly worldview poison that's going to destroy all the relationships that matter the most. You'll notice Andrew Tate is never going to find happily ever after in a wife unless he diametrically changes his ideology to something antithetical to the one that he's currently running. He's going to sabotage all the relationships around him that matter the most. He'll never even know what he is missing as far as I'm concerned. I'm 16 years in to a marriage with my best friend, my bride, and we are closer than we have ever been. And my boys, my 9 and 11-year-old boys that we're spending so much time together, he'll never know the fullness of joy that is infinitely better than your stupid Bugatti. Earthly riches are filled with so much poverty, and young men need to know that what's far better than fame or vocational success or having a large bank account is being able to have deep relationships. On your deathbed, that's all you'll pine for is those deep relationships, not your 401k portfolio. It is not worth living and dying for. And so what Tate misses hardcore, he's leading all kinds of young men astray with false promises of a hollow and weakened masculinity, a masculinity that is strong enough to be good at warrior stuff, but not good enough to be at poet stuff. You're never going to flourish and nourish relationships that matter. You will never have God-fearing humility. So that when you look at Tate, he is all flash and pomp. He is arrogance personified. It is loathsome to me how small that would make a man. As I realize, the center of Christian morality, the center of all morality for me is humility. And as far as I can tell, Tate has zero. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not even letting you answer any more questions because you spooled me up. So this is your fault, Liz, because I got all excited about this, but I'll recognize he does some stuff good. Look at all the money he gives to charity. And I'm like, I realize that even Bill Gates gives massive amounts to charity as it is economically good to do so for even a tax write-off. So I don't know his heart, but I do know that you can do charitable donations, which are beneficial for tax benefits, to be able to use that as a shield to justify untold amounts of depravity. Oh, I objectify dozens of women who are my live-in concubines, but I give to charity, so now I am morally above reproach and you cannot say anything against me. And so I think that sucks as well.
It does, and it's interesting. So often in our culture, this is true politically and also non-politically, just in our society, in our communities, we play defense against poisonous ideas and insidious ideologies, and we forget to go on offense. We forget that we can't just put up a shield to ward something off, that we actually have to claim that space, because if we don't claim it, there's no neutral playing field. The other side will claim it. It is this battle of good versus evil.
You say warrior? Well, why do you even war? All the good stuff is in the poet category of like, I want to protect my family. Why do you protect? It's because I'm a lover of people. That's what fuels the warrior. A poet who doesn't protect, no, love protects. And so anybody that loves deeply wants to be able to protect people as well. And so one flows into the other. Be lovers and fighters. That way, after we have won our freedom with the Second Amendment, we might enjoy it in the First.
And I think that this is something that the Mascu Bros completely neglect. And I don't know whether this is spiritual deficiency on their part, whether they've been led astray, whether they have nefarious motives, whether they're cloaking themselves almost as the Antichrist would with some elements of truth in order to seduce people and lead them astray. Your warrior poet, I like this combination, the warrior poet. It reminds me of King David in the Bible. Perhaps that's where you got it from. Your new book, The Warrior Poet Way, shows young men how to live this life. You have 10 basic principles. What are these? What does this look like?
Yeah, so the Warrior Poet Society is really more of a secular movement. It's a pretty wide net, and so all kinds of different ideologies can come under that umbrella. I happen to be a Christian, and so some people in our movement, they aren't. Some people are unbelievers. Some people are Buddhists or Hindus or Muslims or whatever. And so the big idea behind Warrior Poet is I wanted to make it really broad because it is really an ancient brotherhood that really stretches far back. However, I am a Christian. I believe that's the correct worldview. I believe God really did become a man to rescue us from our own sin when we were dead in our sinful nature. And so Jesus made us alive, and he serves as the ultimate warrior poet.
Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.